Hello everyone, welcome back to Susie Saves. I am Susie and it is time to close out week 4 of August. So for those of you who might not know, we actually get one more paycheck for August, which is super exciting because it is able to pay for some things that we maybe wouldn't have been able to pay for otherwise. We get a little bit extra money, so it's super exciting. So let us begin. So I worked 4 days last week, so I made $640. My husband is salary, so he always makes the same, $950. And we'll just check and make sure that Susie's math was right, and it was $1,590 this week. So this is, to me, the most important part of the budget, which is going in after the week is over and making sure you actually spent money, the right amount of money, and where you said you were going to spend the money. I think it can be, I don't know if dangerous is the right word, but it can be the biggest miss that people have, which is, well, I budget, but then they spend more than they budgeted and they don't really take into account that they need to stick to the budget. So it's not enough to just make a budget. You have to make sure that if you overspent somewhere, that money can get accounted for, or if you need maybe your bill has gone up or something, that you can account for that. So let's dive on into it. We did indeed put $200 towards rent and $23 towards our internet. For groceries, we did overspend. We spent $75 on groceries, which is upsetting, but I've been talking about the grocery bill raising. It's been hard to get by with $60, so we might be raising that sooner than later. I'm just not exactly ready to make that commitment yet. For gas, I spent $36, and my husband spent $50, so it's $86 in gas. Nothing out of miscellaneous. Dining out, it was actually $55, so just over on that. YouTube and Netflix both got $5, and then we get our $50. Like I said, when I was making the budget, we don't track this money, so I'm just going to assume it's all spent. That helps me mentally not think about that money. It helps it be guilt-free. So we spent $549, and that is less than we were planning, so we are all good there. Even though we went over in some areas, we didn't spend in others, and so we can reallocate money to where it needs to go. For the sinking funds, all of this is correct. We put 13 in for car insurance, 13 in for the phone bill, 10 for car maintenance, 10 for pets, 10 for gifts, and 20 for health. Admittedly, out of the health, we spent quite a lot this week. I had got a new prescription when I went to the doctor's last week, so we bought that. I bought some creatine, and I bought protein shakes. So all of that came out to $89 that we pulled out of there. I know the cats need food soon, and I think they need flea medicine. I'll have to look in the cabinet, so I know we're going to be pulling out of that one next week. We do not have any debt, so we do not need to worry about debt. And then all of this is correct. So we put $200 for the Roth, $200 for my Roth, $25 into stocks. So now we need to see how much more we need to put into savings. So we got $1,590. We spent $549. We put away $76 into our sinking funds, so that gives us $965. I always want to put something in the buffer, so I'm just going to put 5 in the buffer. So, oh, yeah, no, that's fine. So we spent $400 on our Roths, $25 on stock, 5 in the buffer, which gives us $535 in savings. That's an extra $20 that we'll need to add to make sure that we get to the right number. And there we have it. There was last week's budget, which is just great. Obviously, we did overspend in dining out and groceries, but we moved money around and were able to cover that. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm really excited for the last quarter of the year. So I'm trying to get kind of through September because we've had a crazy amount of growth this year. So I'm really excited to see what we can end the year with. I don't think it'll be as ambitious as the goals were in the beginning of the year, but I am excited to see just how far we can push it. But thank you everyone so much for being here today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, everyone.